Next at 10, another place you got to monitor your kids' activities.
Online video games and chat forums. The latest warning tonight as a sheriff continues to crack down on threats of violence.
I can feel my foot in his mouth. And I can feel it just going clamp, and they let me go.
And high surf in Central Florida. We hear from Gnarly Charlie after his close encounter with the shark next at 10.
Right now on Fox 35 News at 10, all eyes are on future Hurricane Helene. We have the latest track as it's expected to hit Florida as a major Category 3.
And people in one local city not taking any chances ahead of this storm.
Took me all day and several wheelbarrows full of dirt.
Where residents are taking matters into their own hands and shovels to prevent flooding.
And high surf shark attack in Central Florida.
Half an inch away from my Achilles tendon. That would have been bad.
Meet Gnarly Charlie and find out when he plans to get back on his surfboard.
But right now, all eyes on the tropics once again as a potential major hurricane moves towards Florida this week. This is the latest cone for what will become Helene. Thanks for watching tonight. I'm John Brown.
And I'm Luann Sorrell. The new models show the storm could come even closer to Central Florida than we originally thought. We have live team coverage as we get ready for an active week of weather. Fox 35's Manny Martinez shows us how people in Edgewater are preparing for possible flooding. Plus, Fox 35 storm team meteorologist TJ Springer and Noah Bergeron are here tonight. So, Noah, what has changed tonight with the new model?
Yeah, Lou, John, good evening, everybody. It looks like that the range of outcomes is narrowing a little bit, but this is still a long way to go in figuring out the final destination of landfall for what will be Helene. So here's what you need to know at this hour. Thanks for joining us tonight. The system is getting going at this hour. It's still not named. We're expecting it officially to be named overnight or early tomorrow morning. So when you wake up and watch Good Day Orlando, we will have Tropical Storm Helene. This will become a hurricane either late tomorrow or early Wednesday. Now, at this point, the thing that's most uncertain is the intensity of the hurricane. That remains very much unknown. And it's all about how the core will enter the Gulf on Wednesday. Right now, the models are split, to be honest. If the core is intact, meaning the winds are going around in a circle, there's thunderstorms wrapping around the center, I think this thing will probably end up as a Cat 4 or a Cat 5 when it strikes Florida on Thursday. If the core is not intact, this probably will struggle to get much past a Cat 3 and may even just be a Category 2. Still a strong storm with a large wind field, but that's the scenario outcomes the way I see it right now. So in terms of the track, it's all about the strength. The stronger hurricane probably will turn more to the east and move south more towards Central Florida, up and down the peninsula. A weaker storm may drift more just north into the panhandle. The impacts here, we will have them regardless on Thursday. It's going to be a very large storm in size. So for Central Florida, there will be some tornado risk, there will be lots of wind, and there will be at least some rain, but this is not going to be a major rain impact for us. So as of the 8 o'clock advisory, it's still a potential tropical cyclone, 35-mile-an-hour winds. Now, if you look, you can see there are some big thunderstorms tonight starting to fire up, but look on the left side of the center, which is right here, there's nothing yet. So that's why this is still an unnamed system. We'll show you the latest spaghetti models, our Fox model, and walk you through more about those scenarios in a couple of minutes.
All right, Noah, thank you. People in Edgewater are sick of waiting for the city to step up with flood protection. So they're doing it themselves, filling sandbags and even clearing ditches.
And Fox 35's Manny Martinez is live in Edgewater tonight. So Manny, these residents have the mindset of if you want something done right, you just go ahead and do it yourself.
Yeah, John, but they say it's hard work they shouldn't have to be doing, but say it's worth it when it comes to saving your own home from any flooding. That's especially after 6 inches of rain in a short amount of time last week flooded parts of this city. And tonight we are at one of the 2 sandbag spots open here in the city. We watched as people drove up and filled up. We expect to see more of that in the coming days. People here also hopeful that their solutions and the city's solutions start working. Live in Edgewater tonight, Manny Martinez, Fox 35 News.
Manny, thank you. And you can depend on the Fox 35 storm team to keep a very close eye on future Hurricane Helene. You can download the Fox 35 storm team weather app and be sure to tune into Good Day Orlando when you wake up. They will have the very latest from overnight.
Also new tonight, a man from Arkansas was just arrested for making a bomb threat against a school in Brevard County. The sheriff's office says Philip Taylor made that threat on social media against Cocoa Beach Senior High. He also referenced a previous school shooting threat. Taylor was arrested this morning and will be extradited to Brevard County for trial.
A synagogue torched over the weekend. 100-year-old Torahs just seconds away from going up in flames. Fox 35's Stephanie Belfamonte is live in Maitland tonight. So, Stephanie, the rabbi there says this fire could not keep them from their religion.
Did not. And in this video, you can see the rabbi there running away from the burning synagogue yesterday with a Torah in his hands that had survived the Holocaust after firefighters had saved it from the flames inside the synagogue. And tonight, that rabbi was back out here outside of the caution tape leading evening prayer. Now, of course, the inside of the synagogue was badly damaged. They did set up a donation page. If you would like to donate, we have a link to that on the Fox 35 News app. The state fire marshal is now investigating the cause of this fire. Reporting live in Maitland, Stephanie Belfamonte, Fox 35 News.
Stephanie, thank you. New details tonight in the case of a first responder accused of raping an unconscious patient in the back of an ambulance. That victim is now planning to sue Flagler County. Investigators say James Melody sexually assaulted that woman when she was in an ambulance on the way to the hospital. Her attorney says that he was notified and is now notified Flagler County that she intends to sue them. He says his client is still upset about the situation.
Imagine anybody who finds out that while they were unconscious, they were sexually assaulted, and then add to that the fact that this was a paramedic with an unconscious female patient. I mean, who is there for emergency care, and a paramedic who's supposed to be providing that emergency care. And I just think the whole thing is unbelievable and unconscionable.
Sam Masters says his client wants justice. Changes have already been made to help ensure this doesn't happen again. The county has now installed cameras inside all ambulances, made it mandatory for 2 people to be in the back with patients considered to be vulnerable, and has created a new position to ensure oversight of each unit. Fox 35 News at 10 is just getting started.
Still to come tonight, could your child's gaming turn into a real threat?
It can, and it has in some instances. I'm Kelsey Cairns, and up next, ways to prevent your child from falling victim to threats online.
Plus, a man's fight to clear his name after he says he was wrongfully sent to prison twice.
No, I'm not a murderer. Never was a murderer.
The legal twist ahead, including his possible parole at the age of 93.
Then a little later, Fox 35 is investigating an unseen enemy.
Deepfake fraud has exploded globally.
The rise of deepfakes is threatening to deceive us all. Learn how you can fight back against the AI scammers lurking in the digital shadows.
Each candidate in this presidential race is focusing on issues and vibes, trying to get an emotional response from their followers and the electorate. Join us each day on Battleground as we talk to the swing state voters about how they're feeling and their all-important vote on November 5th.
Tonight at 11:30 on Fox 35.
Making strides against breast cancer. Register now for Making Strides Against Breast Cancer October 26th at one of these 3 locations in Central Florida.
All right, we're watching the tropics. Obviously, we've got what will become Major Hurricane Helene we expect over the next few days, and also another system, 70% development odds now. That could be among our next named storm. Talk about it more coming up.
Well, today, more fake threats, but this time some swatting calls are getting personal.
Yeah, those swatting calls are targeting Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood and his parents' homes. Well, tonight, the sheriff says it is, quote, sad and pathetic, a new normal, and we also heard from the sheriff earlier today as he tries to find a solution.
Maybe 21 days in a secure facility and being marched all over the place and all the stuff that's going to follow, maybe that'll resonate with somebody.
Well, the sheriff says he is also worried about video game chat rooms. Fox 35's Kelsey Cairns is joining us live tonight. So, Kelsey, one of those discussions involves the video game Fortnite.
Yes, that's exactly right. And this accused teen was making these threats as he was playing Fortnite on Xbox Live, deputies say. Now, the expert that I spoke to says, parents, you really need to familiarize yourself with these gaming systems and online gaming networks that your kids are using, all to prevent future threats. Now, he also explained to me that every user has an IP address. So that means anyone that's making a threat can be traced back to that original address. And more often than not, that is what happens. That is how cyber experts really look into how they're even sourcing these threats. Now, as always, parents, if you feel you or your child's safety is in danger after they communicated with someone online, always alert your local authorities. Reporting live for Fox 35 News, I'm Kelsey Cairns.
Hey, Kelsey, let's take a look right now at the current satellite for what will become Hurricane Helene. This area has not yet formed into a tropical depression yet, but it's likely to sometime tomorrow, and that is actually really huge when you look at how wide it is there. Noah Berggren joins us once again.
So, Noah, time things out for us.
Yeah, Lou, John, it looks like Thursday definitively will be the day of impact here. That's not going to change. It's just a matter of, is it midday Thursday or is it late evening on Thursday? So as of tonight, 8 o'clock advisory, this is still an unnamed system. Overnight, it will attain tropical characteristics, become a tropical storm, and then get the name Helene. So 35-mile-an-hour winds tonight. Let me show you the close-up view here. On the infrared satellite, notice big thunderstorms east of the center, but not west. So this is still a lopsided system, but it already is very large. Now, these thunderstorms that are firing are slowly starting to align around the center, but it's been a slow process as of this evening. So in terms of the impacts, I want to say this loud and clear. Regardless, this will be a very large storm. And for us here in Central Florida, as a baseline, what to prepare for and what to know, there will be some tornado risk, whether it ends up being a high risk or a low risk. There will be a risk for tornadoes all day Thursday, probably starting late Wednesday night through Thursday night. Tropical storm force gusts at a minimum in the Orlando area all the way to the Space Coast. And if you have travel plans, many of you have asked, I would expect the Tampa airport to probably be closed all day Thursday. MCO, if not closed for air operations, Tampa probably will be closed, but MCO, there'll probably be very limited flights, especially how strong the wind field will be aloft on Thursday, especially the afternoon and the evening. So here's the latest cone tonight. Continues to track to the northwest. Tropical storm tomorrow. From there, we get a hurricane on Wednesday. And notice the cone as we come into Florida. I'm going to stop this right here. 2 o'clock on Thursday. 115 sustained, gust to 140. But look how wide the cone is. Fort Walton Beach over towards basically the west end of Tampa Bay. That is huge still. And for us in Central Florida, regardless, we're on that east side. That's the worst side, remember, of the wind and the rain and the storm surge and the tornado threat. There's a huge discrepancy in there. Are we going to get some impact or a major impact from here? And then in very rare fashion, we'll talk about this more later, the remnants will hook and boomerang in towards Kentucky and Missouri later this week. So this will be Helene, then the next storm after this will be Isaac. Let me show you the latest spaghetti models. Here it is with the cone, and I want you to notice, I'm going to pull this in so you can see what I'm talking about. The cone itself, edge to edge, is 278 miles. Our Fox model tonight, which I'm about to show you, is on the east end of this cone. But if these models over here verify, we're going to have a major wind event here with how large the wind is from the center on Thursday in the Orlando area. If these scenarios on the west end of the cone happened, we'll still get tropical storm force gusts and some tornado risk, but it's going to be a lot less of an impact for Central Florida, and that real major destructive force will be up in the panhandle. So here's our Fox model. I'll walk you through it slower coming up in the next half hour, but notice how we strengthen into a hurricane on Wednesday. By Thursday, this is over the hottest water of the Gulf, and notice our Fox model, pretty clear. There's your well-defined hurricane, and at face value, our Fox model says high end 3, low cat 4. Probably, I think that's a good bet at this time frame. Now, this has a landfall late Thursday night into Friday morning. There you see the eye, which looks to be huge on the satellite, probably a 40 to 50 mile wide eye Then from there, at least in this scenario, Gainesville, Ocala, the Villages, those would be the areas experiencing hurricane conditions with much more sporadic activity the further east and closer to I-4 you get late on Thursday into Friday. We've got some more modeling to show you, and I'll go through much more detail for you coming up in just a few minutes, guys.
All right, Noah, thank you very much. Well, you can depend on the Fox 35 storm team to keep a very close eye on this system around the clock. You can go to fox35orlando.com to find a county-by-county breakdown on what you can expect where you live. That's right there at the top of our homepage.
All right, still to come tonight here on Fox 35, heroes in action on the shores of Volusia County.
The rapid response that saved multiple lives from rip currents.
Also, this one surfs up, and so are the shark sightings like that right there. We hear from the beach legend, Gnarly Charlie, about what it felt like when a shark bit down.
I'm deeply connected to my family's history and culture, and that's why I love living in Orlando. In the morning, every minute matters, and as a traffic anchor, I'm going to help you save some time. I'm a human GPS. I can't help it. I'll see you on Good Day Orlando.
How about this one? High Surf Central Florida edition. Surfers are watching the water very closely right now as more sharks appear to be in that area. One even chomped down on a well-known surfer. You can see in this video right here, there are fins poking out of the water along Cocoa Beach. You can see the shark was just a few feet away from some surfers as well. Now, thankfully, no one was hurt there. But a few miles north in New Smyrna Beach, one surfer was not so lucky.
And I can feel it just going clamp half an inch away from my Achilles tendon. That would have been bad if you would have bit my Achilles.
Yeah, that's Charlie Hodjack, better known as Gnarly Charlie. He ended up at the hospital with 6 stitches and a doctor's order to stay out of the water for at least 10 days.
A Volusia County deputy listening into a 911 call saved lives on the beach. Several people were stuck in the ocean with no way to call for help. Last week, 2 little girls were struggling in the water, caught in a rip current. Then 4 people went in to try and save the girls. Well, a deputy heard the call go out through the live 911 system. He was able to get lifeguards to the victims when every second mattered.
We work long days, so it can get a little mundane at times. You don't always get great outcomes. Obviously, this is a situation we had an awesome outcome.
If you ever find yourself in a rip current, it's best to try and relax and swim parallel to the shore. If you see someone caught in one, you should never go in after them unless you've been trained to do so.
All right, coming up in our next half hour, the fight continues for a man to clear his name and get out of prison again. What he says about the evidence and the witnesses that have kept him behind bars for decades.
And with just under 6 weeks until Election Day, both nominees are in the battleground battle. The latest poll numbers tonight as both candidates for president see Pennsylvania as a path to victory.
Fox 35 News starts now, tracking the tropics.
And our big story at 10:30, of course, we are tracking the tropics.
And don't be fooled by the calm start to our week because a major hurricane could hit Florida by Thursday. We have live team coverage for you tonight. Fox 35 storm team meteorologist TJ Springer is helping you get your hurricane supply kits ready. But first, let's check in with meteorologist Noah Bergen for the very latest on future Hurricane Helene. Good evening, Noah.
Hey there, Luann. One thing I want to make clear to everybody is that the ocean water in the Gulf is the hottest it has ever been through this point. I want you to notice the cone with that ocean heat content. Notice how the storm probably will parallel some of the hottest water in the entire Gulf. This is called the loop current here that ends up and becomes the Gulf Stream off the coast of Florida. And actually, we just got the new cone in. You saw that just update right now. Actually, it looks like it moved a little bit further east. We'll talk about that more coming up at 10:45. But here's what I want to show you. So first of all, tomorrow and Wednesday, 2 great days. Get some water, some extra food, supplies for all of Central Florida. If you live closer to Gainesville, Ocala, the Villages, those are the areas that are more likely right now to have hurricane conditions on Thursday. But the big thing with this, guys, listen, we don't know yet. That's what we know, is that we don't know yet because it hasn't formed. Tomorrow, I was just telling this to TJ, I really think tomorrow there's going to be a big swing in the data either further west or further east towards Tampa and Orlando. Here's our Fox model in yellow, in purple, our Barron model, and in red, the GFS. And notice right here at 10 p.m. Thursday, there are huge discrepancies in the models. The Fox model is a Cat 4, a lot closer to us. The GFS model in red is maybe like a Cat 2 still over South Georgia, North Florida. And our other model that we run here at Fox 35 is way over Alabama at that point. So there's big differences in the timing, big differences in the intensity, and big differences in the track. But it all will be figured out, I think, by tomorrow. Once this thing starts to form, we'll have a much better handle of how to tell you what to prepare for here in Central Florida and throughout the state. So tomorrow's quiet, 89 on Wednesday. Helene on Thursday, weather impact day for right now. Expect that to be upgraded to a storm alert day, I would think, tomorrow. And then from there, the weekend will be much quieter. For some more tips on how you should start thinking about preparing, here's meteorologist TJ Springer.
Hey, Noah, thank you. Yeah, we have many counties across the Sunshine State already under states of emergency. So if that's any indication of what we're going to be going through over the next few days, it's a sign to get what you need and do so quickly. Of course, tonight, tomorrow, watch us continue to get our latest forecasts and start to prepare in terms of getting what you need for your hurricane kits. And if you do need to potentially evacuate, have a go bag ready, everything you need ready to go. Wednesday, finish up storm preps on your home, because Thursday, that's when we're going to have the worst of the conditions, the worst weather here at home. But thankfully, as we've been talking about, this is going to be such a quick moving system, not stalling, not going to continue to dump rain for days. Friday, we're going to start to improve dramatically. Now, as you are getting your things together, here are a few things that you want to think of. If you have pets, dog and cat food, food for you, batteries, flashlights, medications, you want to get yourselves to the pharmacy if you need to do so, and make sure you have a first aid kit as well, and plenty of water. And hey, gas for your generators if you have one. Before the storm, make sure you secure your outdoor furniture, put it in the house if you can, in the garage. Make sure it's not out on the lanai or the decks. You want to drain your pools, clean your gutters, make sure your emergency kit, as we hit on, is fully stocked with everything you need. During the storm, make sure you're staying with us. We'll be giving you the latest on not only here on television, but on Fox Local, on the Fox 35 and the Storm Team app. And of course, you want to have a plan. And then the cleanup, I know that's going to be a big thing for us as we head through Friday into this upcoming weekend. Make sure you stay out of damaged buildings. If you are seeing damage, just be careful, stay away from down power lines, and make sure you never attempt to drive through any flooded roadways. We always say turn around, don't drown, and find a new route to your final destination. Of course, we'll continue to keep tabs on all of this. It is Storm Team coverage for us as we progress through the rest of the week. And of course, we'll have the latest, so make sure you stay tuned. I'll send it back to you, Luann and John.
All right, TJ, thank you. And be sure to keep it right here with Fox 35 as we continue to track this storm. We have a list of everything you need to know, from your disaster supply kit to sandbag locations here in Central Florida. Just download the Fox 35 News app and look for this story.
Also, a developing story tonight. Crossley Green is still fighting for his freedom. It's been more than a year since he walked back into prison for a murder he insists he did not commit.
Green spent 3 decades in prison. Then a court ruled that he was wrongfully convicted. He was released, but then sent back to prison after the state appealed. Fox 35's Marie Edinger has been following his case for years now, and what might be Green's last hope for freedom.
All right, we are now about 6 weeks until Election Day, and both presidential nominees are focusing on a few key swing states this week. Former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are both spending a lot of time in Pennsylvania because that state may be the ultimate key to victory. Harris is calling for another debate while also unveiling her economic plan this week. Polling still shows a tight race between the two. A New York Times poll has Harris ahead nationally by 3 points, but Trump has a narrow lead in several key states like North Carolina, Arizona, and Georgia. But again, nearly all these polls are within the margin of error. Harris plans to visit Pittsburgh and Arizona this week. Trump has an event in Savannah, Georgia coming up on Tuesday.
As fall weather approaches eventually, there are concerns about the spread of respiratory viruses. Health officials say the flu, RSV, and COVID are all concerns this year. And starting this month, the government is offering free COVID tests online. An updated COVID-19 vaccine is also being approved by federal regulators. The CDC recommends Americans renew their COVID shots before the start of November.
We are counting down to our next launch from the Space Coast. SpaceX will send up Crew 9 to the ISS on Thursday. The liftoff is slated for 2:05 p.m. Some backup days will be available on Friday and Saturday. And once they arrive in space, they will join the 2 astronauts who went up in the Boeing Starliner back in June, and they'll be flying back home with that crew next year. Crew 9 originally consisted of 4 members, but they had to scale back to make space for the return flight coming up in February. Next year on Fox 35 News at 10, digital deception. A new threat is trying to dupe your family with fake video and audio.
That's the world we're stepping into. Like, what can you believe anymore, especially now?
Fox 35 investigates the truth behind deepfake technology and how you can detect these high-tech scams.
But first, we are saving you some cash tonight with the Fox 35 Pump Patrol. Gas is $2.85 at the Chevron on South John Young Parkway in Orlando. And you can find the cheapest gas in your area by going to fox35orlando.com.
I'm cleaning up my yard tomorrow. How hot will it be?
If you work outside today, drink plenty of water. It's going to be really hot. Temperatures getting into the upper 90s by this afternoon.
Noah. Watch Noah Bergeron weeknights on Fox 35. Fox 35 News is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome back. Fox 35 investigates a threat that could be targeting you and your family. Fake images, fake videos, even fake audio.
Yeah, but they're all masked to look like people you know and trust. The AI-enhanced scam is proof that seeing is no longer believing. Fox 35's Matt Trezza digs deeper into the deepfake threat.
Well, we just got a brand new cone for what will eventually become Hurricane Helene.
And Noah is joining us right now. He's been looking at the newest cone and the updates here. So what do you see with this new update?
2 things. The cone has narrowed, and the eastern side has gotten closer to us, which is probably what I think was going to happen. And I'll explain to you what that means for us here right now. As of 11 o'clock, still not a named system. This is still a potential tropical cyclone by the letter of the law, but it will become a storm tomorrow. Then it starts its northeast turn, becomes a hurricane Wednesday, 8 o'clock in the morning Thursday, Category 2, 105 sustained, gusts to 125. So notice the east side of the cone now comes into Tampa Bay, and the east side of the cone comes through Ocala, about 30 miles closer to Orlando and the I-4 corridor. Remember, the cone tells you where the center may go. So if the center went from Tampa to Ocala, we're going to have a generational surge in Tampa Bay. We're going to hope that that does not happen, because if the center comes anywhere near close to Tampa Bay, you're talking about a storm of this magnitude that hasn't occurred since 1921, the infamous Tampa Bay hurricane. So that's that scenario. Closer to the center, this is through probably the Panhandle, where it's the worst conditions, and then from there it hooks a left turn up towards Tennessee and Kentucky. Just with the latest advisory, we now have tropical storm watches for the Keys in southwest Florida. Here's the satellite tonight. It's still firing big thunderstorms, but on the east side of the center. Here's our latest Fox model with the cone. So I want you to notice tomorrow, by the way, sunny and dry. Nothing tomorrow here in central Florida. Wednesday afternoon and evening, here's 6:30. Notice way up here, there could be some thunderstorms with a tornado risk as soon as late Wednesday, far from the center. Here we go. Thursday, your prep should be done by Thursday morning. Now, I think there'll be more storms way out ahead of the center than this indicates, but notice our Fox model brings this east of the current and updated hurricane center forecast. And if this trends any bit further east, we're going to be talking about again, Tampa Bay, generational surge, central Florida, much more for wind damage. Right now, to be honest, I can't tell you one way or the other. My personal hunch, just after looking at everything today, I probably lean more on the higher end of intensity, just given no wind shear and given the historically hot water. In terms of track, I would think a stronger storm will bend more to the east, and a weaker one is going to go more north. But again, this is all an educated guess because the center really hasn't formed yet, which won't happen until tomorrow afternoon. Here's our Fox model with a landfall late Thursday and a Friday. Then from there, the remnants go up into the mid-south. Let me show you real quick. I'll just leave you with this last image before you go to bed tonight. Look at the spread in the models Thursday evening. 1, 2, 3. That is a massive spread and a big change in the impact to us here. We're going to get something At a minimum, tropical storm conditions on Thursday. But how bad here remains to be seen. We will have much more for you tomorrow. But tomorrow, in the first half of Wednesday, great time to start getting prepared.
All right, Noah, thank you. And you can get alerts and stay up to date with the live track of this storm by downloading our Fox 35 Storm Team Weather app. You can also stream us on the Fox Local Smart TV app when we're not broadcasting here on Fox 35.
And before we head to break, let's take a look outside. Beautiful view over. Can you pick it out? It's Honolulu, Hawaii. Yes, and Luann's doing the luau right now. Thanks for staying up late with us, and you're watching Fox 35 News at 10 on this Monday night in Orlando.
Nightlights is sponsored by Ocean Bank, taking business further.
You could win $500.
Watch Good Day Orlando weekdays from 6 to 7 a.m.
Spot the keyword and then go to fox35orlando.com to enter.
Well, the late news at 11 is coming up next.
And Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie is here to kick things off. Hi, Hannah.
Hey, guys. There goes the neighborhood. A multi-million-dollar mansion gets a fresh coat or two of paint. Why neighbors say this is more of an eyesore than a Picasso. And get this, the artists aren't even supposed to be there. Meet me at 11 to find out why.
Fox 35 News is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.